A Tai Yang Breakdown starts up at the upper back or the neck and works towards the feet. They like to make passes. If I happen to be working on somebody clothed, I will indeed make the traditional passes all the way down the body. If I'm working on somebody that's disrobed, I do not, simply because it's really awkward to unrobe half of their body head to toe. They don't feel very comfortable having the sheets crammed in the natal cleft. So what I do is I disrobe the top and I make my passes down the top of the body to the hip repetitively. Then I cover up the top and I uncover the bottom and I make my leg passes. It's not as ideal, but I have yet to meet people who are cool with the loamy draping. So
I have a lot of clients that like to be half draped.
well, if they do, that makes it easy for
Okay.
you. Feel free. Everybody's different. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it. Usually I start with just a really little bit of rocking. Again, trying to use my legs, relax my hands, just let them make contact with the spine and the sacrum and get it moving. That kind of gives me an idea of where I might need to do more work. Lets them get comfortable with the table, with me. They can see my shoes. Make sure that I look okay. I have several clients who are like, you need something down here for me to look at. I'm like, no, you need to close your eyes. But anyway, once I've done a little bit of rocking, and I usually do rocking just from one side because I'm on kind of the midline of the body, I will transition to doing my rolling. And I can do that with one hand or with two. You just want to keep the frequency about the same. You don't want to be going fast and then slow and changing it back and forth, or they'll get really uncomfortable. So you can do this where you start up here and you work down to the hip. If I'm doing the traditional passes, I will roll the hip all the way down to the gluteal fold, and then I will switch and I transition into my grasping. And with the three passes, what you'll find is it's traditional to do lateral leg with your first pass, then the medial or midline of the leg, and then the medial aspect of the leg with your grasping. When you get to the foot, they like to do a variation of pinching and work down the blade of the foot. It has to do with the Tai Yang channel, the bladder channel, coming down the outer aspect of the foot to the pinky toe. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Then you walk yourself back up, make pass number 2. So you come down with your basic rolling, switch to your grasping, get to the foot, do your pinching, walk yourself back up, and do round number 3. Again, if you have somebody who's half draped, and obviously I'm walking through these quicker than I probably would on somebody in the clinic, you can do these very easily. If you have somebody who doesn't want to be half draped, not so much. So you just do half and the other half. Once you've done your 3 passes on both sides, and you've gotten them loosened up with rolling, I'll switch to pushing. And like I said before, since I rolled the muscle towards the spine, I tend to push muscle away from the spine. So you have to be smart. If you did rolling on this side and you finished your 3rd round on this side, if you want to continue to work this side, you have to go to the other side of the body. If you want to start and alternate on the other side, then you reach over. Some people prefer one or the other. But the pushing is that side-to-side rotational movement, right? Down the body. If you're going to do the full 3 runs again, you're going to push through the glutes down until you're pushing on the greater trochanter and the neck of the femur, and then you're going to switch back to grasping. We don't tend to do a lot of grabbing or pushing techniques on the legs during the Tai Yang Breakdown, just because they're a little uncomfortable. Once you've done your 3 rounds of pushing, then you have a lot more freedom of movement. That's really sort of the essential, because you'll make 3 rounds with rolling, 3 rounds with pushing. So you've done 3, 6, and then you've done your other 6 with your pushing. You got 12 reps from head to toe. Most people are pretty well warmed up by that. And from then you can do whatever you want to do. But if you need a little bit more, that cat's paw technique is what I go to usually next. If I find the person hasn't relaxed, I make biscuits on them. And I go back and forth, walking down the body. That one I don't tend to try to work all the way to their feet. It's just an awkward technique. So I'll walk back and forth up the spine. You don't have to just go forward. So I'll do my cat's paw. If I find they need even more still after that, then I will either go back and do another round of basic rolling or pushing, or I'll go back and do a little bit more of my rocking. Simple, easy. There isn't a right or wrong way to do a Tai Yang breakdown, as long as it's general and it's gentle, and you're getting them to be more relaxed, you're doing a good Tai Yang breakdown. Exactly which techniques you want to do, everybody has their own sort of feel for and flavor of. It'll change. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.